Good evening and welcome to Bharat TV News on Bharat TV. My name is Shajiv Jagannathan and here are tonight's top headlines. In breaking news, a body was found in a plane's wheel well at Maui Airport, which shocked travelers and raised safety concerns. Kevin Marino Cabrera's controversial nomination as Trump's ambassador to the Panama Canal stirs bipartisan debate. And locally Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene's call for the death penalty in a shocking subway murder case sparks polarized reactions. President Biden signs 50 new bills into law on Christmas Eve in a legislative marathon, and California reels from deadly waves caused by a powerful Christmas storm. And from India, Andhra Pradesh CM Naidu meets with PM Modi to discuss state issues, and PM Modi criticizes Congress for ignoring Ambedkar's water conservation contributions. And protests escalate over the Vaishno Devi ropeway project, while Home Minister Shah announces plans for a 2 lakh agricultural credit societies. And internationally, Ukraine faces Christmas blackouts after devastating Russian missile strikes, deepening the humanitarian crisis. A tragic discovery was made on Christmas Eve when a body was found in the wheel well of a plane at Maui's Kahului Airport. The individual is believed to have attempted a stowaway journey, highlighting airport security vulnerabilities. Officials are working to identify the deceased and understanding how they bypassed strict safety measures. The case has sparked public concerns about airport protocols and passenger safety. Investigators suspect the individual may have succumbed to the extreme conditions during the flight. This incident underscores the desperation driving such perilous attempts. Airport authorities have pledged to review and strengthen security measures, while airlines have expressed condolences and support for the ongoing investigation. Advocacy groups are calling for increased awareness and intervention to address underlying socioeconomic issues. Investigators are underway to uncover more details about the tragic event. Kevin Marino Cabrera's nomination as Trump's ambassador to the Panama Canal has ignited widespread debate. Critics cite Cabrera's lack of diplomatic experience as a potential obstacle in managing such a critical global trade route. Supporters argue his strong ties to Trump align with the administration's America First policies. The Panama Canal's strategic importance in global trade heightens scrutiny over Cabrera's qualifications. Geopolitical analysts express concerns over rising tensions with China in the region. Cabrera has pledged to prioritize American interests and maintain transparency in operations. Senate hearings are expected to intensify discussions over his appointment. Democratic lawmakers have raised alarms over partisan motivations behind the nomination, while Republican lawmakers defend Cabrera, emphasizing his commitment to U.S. economic security. This appointment reflects Trump's focus on loyalty over traditional credentials in key roles. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene's demand for the death penalty in a subway murder case has fueled fierce debates. The case involves a migrant accused of setting a woman on fire, leading to widespread outrage. Greene's remarks have drawn sharp criticism from advocacy groups and Democratic leaders. Critics argue her stance risks inflaming anti-immigrant sentiment during an already polarized time. Proponents for capital punishment have praised Greene's firm position on justice. The incident has renewed calls for improved safety measures in public transit systems. Law enforcement continues to investigate the motive behind the crime. Public protests have emerged, demanding swift and fair legal action. Greene's comments highlight the intersection of crime, immigration policy, and justice. Experts warn of the risks of politicizing such cases before due process concludes. President Joe Biden capped off Christmas Eve by signing 50 bills into law, marking a historic legislative effort. The new laws address critical areas such as infrastructure, healthcare, and small business support. Environmental reforms and military funding were also key components of the legislative package. Democrats hailed the move as evidence of Biden's commitment to addressing national challenges. Republicans criticized the flurry of activity as a political maneuver to sideline bipartisan input. Advocacy groups welcomed the laws but called for sustained focus on housing and labor reforms. The event underscores Biden's push to solidify his administration's legacy and political divisions. Analysts see this as a strategic move ahead of the upcoming election year. The bills represent a mix of bipartisan priorities and contentious reforms. This legislative blitz sets a high bar for the coming year. A powerful Christmas storm wreaked havoc across California's coast, leaving at least 3 dead and many injured. Torrential rain and massive waves battered coastal communities, causing widespread destruction. Emergency responders have been working tirelessly to rescue stranded residents and assess damages. Meteorologists warn that hazardous conditions could persist through the holiday week. The state has declared an emergency, allocating resources for immediate relief efforts. Environmental experts attribute the intensity of the storm to the growing impact of global climate change. Local leaders have called for increased investment in disaster preparedness and infrastructure resilience. Community groups have stepped up to provide aid to affected families. This catastrophic storm highlights the urgent need for climate adaptation measures. Californians remain resilient, rallying together to recover during the holiday season. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu held talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi to discuss pressing state concerns. Key topics included financial aid, infrastructure development, and granting special status to Andhra Pradesh. Naidu emphasized the need for enhanced federal support to boost regional growth. PM Modi assured the CM of the central government's commitment to resolving these issues. The meeting is seen as a strategic move ahead of the general elections, aiming to address voter concerns. Opposition leaders have criticized the dialogue, questioning its tangible outcomes. Analysts believe the discussion could pave the way for greater state-center collaborations. Citizens have expressed cautious optimism, awaiting concrete actions. The meeting underscores the importance of aligning state and national priorities for sustained development. Further developments are expected in the coming weeks. Prime Minister Narendra Modi accused the Congress Party of neglecting Dr. Ambedkar's contributions to water conservation. Speaking at an event, Modi highlighted Ambedkar's pioneering efforts in resource management as a cornerstone of India's development. Congress leaders dismissed the remarks, calling them a political distraction. BJP supporters praised Modi for bringing attention to Ambedkar's broader legacy beyond social justice. The comments have reignited debates on Ambedkar's role in modern governance. Analysts see this as an attempt to solidify BJP's connection with Ambedkar's ideals ahead of the elections, while critics argue the focus on historical issues detracts from pressing contemporary challenges. The debate underscores the enduring political relevance of Ambedkar's vision. Historians have called for a nuanced discussion to avoid oversimplification, and the controversy continues to dominate political discourse. Protests against the proposed Vaishno Devi ropeway project escalated in Jammu and Kashmir, leading to clashes with police. Locals fear the project will disrupt the sanctity of the revered pilgrimage site. Authorities argue the ropeway will boost accessibility and tourism in the region. Several demonstrators were injured as tensions flared during the protests. Religious leaders have called for calm while advocating for alternative development plans. The state government has promised consultations to address public concerns. Critics claim the project prioritizes commercial interests over cultural preservation, and analysts warn of potential political fallout if the issue is not resolved amicably. The incident highlights the challenges of balancing development with religious and cultural sentiments. The government's next steps will be crucial in determining the project's future. Ukraine faced widespread blackouts on Christmas Day following intense Russian missile strikes. Critical energy infrastructure was targeted, leaving millions without power during freezing winter conditions. Ukrainian officials condemned the strikes as war crimes, calling for international intervention. Emergency crews are working around the clock to restore essential services. NATO allies have pledged additional support to bolster Ukraine's energy resilience. Citizens have displayed remarkable resilience, organizing community shelters and relief efforts. The attacks highlight the ongoing humanitarian crisis exacerbated by the prolonged conflict. Global leaders have reiterated calls for a peaceful resolution to the war, and analysts view the strikes as part of Russia's strategy to undermine Ukrainian morale. The incident underscores the urgency of addressing the war's escalating impact on civilians. And with that, we wrap up tonight's news. My name is Shajiv Jagannathan, and you are tuning to Bharat News on Bharat TV. I will see you next week, and have a good night.